Now, before we get into creating really cool design effects inside Photoshop, I want to talk a little bit about how you're going to prep your files or how you're going to set up your files. If you are working in print, that is, if you're going to be designing for magazines or any kind of print ad, you're going to want to keep your resolutions of your files really pretty high. In fact, 300 is going to be the most common setting you're going to go to when you're in when your file setup and you're setting it up. And chances are, if you're working in print, you're going to be working in inches. So whatever dimensions you set up, you want to make sure that your resolution is at least 300 to keep the graphics really high res, because we're going to be doing a lot of different things and distorting and resizing and resampling, and that's going to be fine to a degree, but you want to keep your files pretty high res if you are in fact going to print. Now, if you're working in web or video, then it's not going to be as critical, but you will want to work in a relatively high resolution because we may end up scaling things up. That might be in a video or something on a web page you might want to scale up. So something to keep in mind. You don't quite have to keep it to 300, but keep it around 100 or 150 if you're going to be eventually going to some kind of digital media like a web browser or video or something like that. So just wanted to point that out, and I'm going to be using RGB color mode for pretty much all of this because it is the most common, and it's going to give us, it makes all Photoshop features available to us. So that's the main color space I'm going to be working in. Again, if you're working in print and you know that you eventually convert your files to CMYK, you're going to want to pay attention to some of the graphics we create because sometimes they're going to be a little bit out of gamut and you'll need to color manage those or have to compromise on how they're going to look when they print, because some of these effects honestly do look better on screen. They're going to be look more for like a web page or video or aspects or something like that. Some elements like that. So just take a note of that as far as what's going to be for print and what's going to be for video as you're going and creating these files. Be wary of the resolution. And let's get started and have some fun making some cool design graphics.